me start with a thought about my Marin boots from Brunt. I gotta ask you guys, what has your experience been with Brunt? Because I'll tell you mine right now, I'm obsessed. Right out of the box. I'm talking day one. No break-in period. With boots, guys, that is so rare. No pain, no give it 2 weeks and suffer like the rest of us. Other boot brands, they'll treat your feet like a training camp. Brunt treats you like a champion. And here's the part I respect. Founder Eric Girard, blue collar guy. His buddies start telling him the big brands stop listening. Sold out and became fashion shows. So Eric built something better, and then he named the boots after real guys. Real workers, no nonsense. They're comfortable, they're tough. These things are waterproof. They got a safety toe, a soft toe, whatever you need. Hey, and friends, if they're not right, send them back. Nobody else does that. So here's the deal. For a limited time, get $10 off at Brunt when you use code Chael at checkout. Just go to bruntworkwear.com. Use the code Chael and you are set. Don't forget, when they ask you where you heard about Brunt, tell them it was Uncle Chael. Sean Strickland takes out Anthony Hernandez via TKO in the second round. All right, let's take a look at this. So going into this fight, Sean was a meaningful underdog. I mean, my own partners at DraftKings had him at 1.3-1. And I bring that up because some guys do their best work when nobody believes in them. Some guys are not the same guy when they're supported and told how great they are. They do the best when they're questioned. And Sean Strickland is one of these guys. If you go back and look at the history of Sean's career, his best performances come on nights, and I'm not just talking about outcome. He's had great outcomes. But I'm not just talking about outcomes. I'm talking about the actual performance. He does his best when he doesn't have pressure, when the world doesn't think he can do it, when the world questions him. So Sean goes out and he's fighting Hernandez. And by the way, experience is not something that I often will give a guy credit for in this sport. Because this sport isn't like other sports where, you know, if you've played a year of soccer and you're taking on somebody that's played 4 years of soccer, likely just knowing nothing else, the person that's had 4 years of soccer is going to be better at the game. It's not like that in fighting. Teddy Atlas goes as far as to say you leave a piece of yourself out there every time you fight, that you don't leave better and stronger. Now, there's of course a point to that, right? There's a tipping point where that starts to be more of a literal statement than less of a literal statement. But one thing that I do give credit for is guys that I do see as an experience advantage is guys who have been in main events. It's a different feel to close out the night, not only in the media and the expectation leading into the fight, but fight night itself. When you're in the locker room and you're surrounded by all these guys that you've watched on TV and all these big names that people think are cool, and maybe you even yourself at one point thought were cool or still do, and they're all done, and you're still up. They've come in the back, and some of them are hanging their head and they're heartbroken. They come in the back, and some of them are high-fiving and celebrating with their coaches. Like all of these different emotions, and you're seeing it, and you're taking it in, you're trying to be happy for the guys in the locker room. But your time is still yet to come. It's a different experience, and that's before you get into the fact that it's a different sport, right? Five rounds versus 3 rounds. You're now not doing the same thing. You're now doing something else. No different in basketball. If I develop a shot that's worth 5 points, we're now not playing basketball as you know it. We're now playing something else. Looks a lot like it, but if you change one rule, you've changed the sport. And I just bring that to you because how are you going to react? Where are you going to use that energy? When do you know when to sprint as opposed to hold back? And I won't say that we saw that specifically in this fight. Like, I don't suggest for you that Hernandez got fatigued. I just suggest for you that there was a leg up in experience in main event situations, and that experience went to the former champion, Sean Strickland. So what do you do now? We have always believed in this community that Imavov was next for Chimaev. We believe that for very good reason. If you guys remember, RDR had his hands full, and Brennan Allen steps in and slows that down. Bo Nickal's in a recovery phase. And we all believed that Imavov was next for Chimaev. I don't know that we're wrong. I feel we were all but told that, but we weren't officially told that. We were all but told that. Now let me take you to a week ago. As a matter of fact, Tuesday of this week. Chimaev's manager came out and said, we, meaning Chimaev himself, are looking to compete against the winner of Hernandez, Sean Strickland. Okay, I don't know what that means for Imavov, but I've never known. I've never got a clear answer on if Chimaev and Imavov aren't next, what's next for Chimaev, but what would be next for Imavov? I've never got a clear answer. And absent of us getting an announcement very soon that those two are going to collide, you do find yourself in a bit of a paradox. If you're going to say that at the table right now, here's the names you've got. Sean Strickland, Imavov. How should we know? How should we know who should go for the championship? Well, generally in that type of situation where everybody's healthy, the champion's waiting, and you've got one of these things, should I go with Imavov? Should I go with Strickland? One of these things that's so close, generally your answer would be, have them fight. If everything else is equal, let's just put Strickland and Imavov together and have them fight. Well, shall I remind you, they did. Strickland won. Shall I remind you that Imavov's last loss was to Sean Strickland? So you find yourself in kind of a peculiar situation, right? Like if you're a matchmaker, does Imavov deserve a title shot? Yes, for sure he does. And there's something to be said for parity. Hey, this guy's never had a title shot. This guy's done everything right. He's never had his opportunity. There's something to be said for that. But when both guys are on the sidelines, both guys have great arguments. One guy got the final say. Who is Strickland? Oh, by the way, they met up in head-to-head competition. That generally would settle the dispute. Head-to-head competition is the number one criteria. In every seeding process in the world, from high school to the NCAA to the Olympic Games, the number one seeding criteria would be head-to-head competition followed by common opponent. So what do? Does Imavov quietly already have a deal? Maybe. If he does, it should be honored. Or did Sean Strickland just become the number one contender? That is also a very probable scenario.